The 90s brought us a pair of parody movies called Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2. They were satirizing macho men movies of the 80s like Top Gun and Rambo Part 2. The other day I decided to watch them since I haven't seen them for over 20 years just to see if they hold up. And it's relevant to this YouTube channel because the first one does have a sprinkling of Arab stuff in it, but the second one goes full tilt. A hilarious thing about Part 2, which has a Kuwaiti connection, is that it has a character playing Saddam Hussein. He famously invaded my country when I was a kid. I don't remember any of it because I was young, but it affected all of my family members. How is this movie gonna portray Saddam Hussein? Let's watch it to see the anti-Arabness, Orientalism, and the goofiness too. Yalla. Wow, whoever they got to portray Saddam Hussein, it's pretty similar-ish looking, you know, it's not an exact copy, but he's got the mustache, he's got the look, surprisingly. This is actor Jerry Heleva, and he got famous for portraying Saddam Hussein in a lot of movies and TV shows. He's Jewish, but he has Turkish ancestry. He lights up his cigar using an oil refinery flame. Okay, on the left, he's shaking hands with former President Bush. This is a reference to in the 80s where the United States was backing Saddam Hussein during the Iran-Iraq conflict that went on for almost 10 years. And it's also doing a sly little joke. America is actually paying for this tyrant to be crazy and do crazy things. On the right, he's got his little planner, breakfast, signed death warrants, and then lunch with Gaddafi. That's a reference to Muammar Gaddafi, the Libyan dictator, then execution, and birthday party at the end. The idea that Saddam Hussein watches American TV shows at all, and he watches Arsenio Hall. Not only that, but he also does his hoo, 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 you know what he does at the intro of every one of his shows. That's just silly. He opens up a fridge. The idea that Saddam Hussein would have a fridge, like an American fridge with Jello, and then he's got the oldie Iraqi beer. Real mayonnaise with orientalist type of sword on the cover. Oh my goodness. Falafel helper, just add camel, microwavable. Feeds a tentful on the bottom. On the top, it's just, you know, broken Arabic characters. 2% camel milk, like a milk carton from America. The idea that there would be a 2% camel milk. I've had it before. It's an interesting flavor, you know. I've also had camel meat at a wedding. Then he has what looks like will be peanut butter. I see that as tahina, you know, the tahini that you use to make hummus. And then instead of Aunt Jemima, he's got Aunt Jamal. That's funny, okay? These people, they got creative with this stuff. They took the effort to put these things. What would it be like if Saddam Hussein had an American-style fridge? What would the things look like in Iraq? Oh my goodness, Hungry Nomad Yankee Dog Roast. It's like the Hungry Man TV dinners in the States, you know, it always has on the front, 1 pound of food. And he's got an American-style kitchen, and he boops it with his butt. He's got a little fun saying on the front, you know, this is just ridiculous and silly. They have some domes. Those domes actually are accurate to Arabia. You got hemispherical and a slight pear dome. They did their actual homework. They're not doing the onion domes that we see in so many movies and TV shows like, oh, Arabia, just give them the onion domes like Russian Orthodox churches. That's not found in Arabia. He's making a little sandwich and he has Sahran wrap instead of saran wrap. His lunchbox has Yasser Arafat on it with 2 AKs. Yasser Arafat was the leader of the Palestinians for many, many years, including when this film was made. It's just a goofy, dumb reference. He takes off his shirt and it's like he's been tanning in a bikini top. Okay, that's just silly and stupid, you know? It's making Saddam Hussein look ridiculous. The idea that he's getting into bed like wearing American pajamas. So the clothes that he's wearing, it's similar to casual clothes that we wear in Kuwait and in other Arab countries. You know, you have a casual type of robe for in the house. I guess it reminds them of the New York Yankees jersey because somebody put a emblem on it that kind of looks like the New York symbol, but it also kind of looks like a swastika. So there's like a dual thing going on there. And then he's got Orientalist style shoes. Okay, so every time they show Arabs or Arabia, they always have these pointy shoes. It's not even a thing in Arabia. This is more of an Indian style shoe with this pointiness, but they took it a step further, okay? They made it even longer and with tassels to make it even sillier. So it's not just playing the stereotype, it's doing the stereotype and adding to it to make you feel like, oh, that's funny, to laugh at it. He's getting into bed and he's having his little cookie, you know, he's biting to his cookie just like he's a little kid and his glass of milk. It's Alka-Seltzer, you know, it's silly. Still has his eye mask on, he runs out, he just starts shooting everywhere. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, it's making him look stupid, but it's also super goofy and silly. He's a nincompoop, he trips. The door whacks him. He just runs into a mosquito blue light and gets zapped. He runs into a rake, a common slapstick thing. Deer antlers, a pail bucket, and falls into water. You know, it's making fun of them. It's making a mockery and making them look stupid and violent and dumb. I do want to talk about something, okay? Why am I laughing at this? Why do I think this is funny? First of all, obviously, there's a bias. I'm Kuwaiti. I hate Saddam Hussein. Most Kuwaitis hate Saddam Hussein for what he did to our country and all the backstabbings that he did and all the evilness, okay? He invaded our country. It was an awful time. I did this little write-up that I want to read to you. Why this is different from Sacha Baron Cohen's Dictator or Borat. The style of comedy is the key differentiator. In Borat and The Dictator, Sacha Baron Cohen builds humor around exaggerated ethnic stereotypes. The comedy leans hard into the image of the gross foreigner, of the cartoonishly evil dictator. 95% of it is jokes that depend on the audience's laughing at exaggerated ideas about foreign cultures, about stereotypes, whether they're real or mostly made up. Like 90% of the stuff is made up orientalist propaganda. The humor is built around shock, discomfort, and you already agreeing with those stereotypes. That's why it comes off as propaganda. Hot Shots Part 2 is doing something way dumber and way goofier. Yes, the movie mocks Saddam Hussein, but it treats him less like a real political figure and more like a live-action Looney Tunes villain. The jokes are not Arabs are bad, they do this. The jokes are, what if Saddam Hussein got dropped into the world's stupidest action movie? It's more of a parody of Hollywood war movies and what they think is cool or goofy or silly. The comedy is coming from explosions, absurd fight scenes, visual gags, and references to movies. Saddam is basically a prop in the chaos. He's there to get clowned on, not to represent every Arab stereotype known to mankind. The only reason why you laugh at Sacha Baron Cohen stuff is if you were a bigot and you already agreed with those stereotypes, right? With Hot Shots, you're laughing because a man just survived an explosion for the 5th time in 10 minutes. That is the key difference here. Moving on to the next scene with Arabs, we have an Iraqi prison camp. There's a man who is dressed up in a military uniform, but he's wearing a kufiya. And they get the kufiya right, okay? So the Iraqi kufiya style is this black and white tight fishnet pattern, and we see that on his head, so they actually get that accurate. He wants him to sign a form before he tortures him. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here is a ethnic slur, okay? They call Arabs towel heads, right? It's an insult, but they try to elevate it with a little bit of comedy, okay? It's insensitive, but then they put their Holiday Inn, like, oh, he got it from Holiday Inn with the logo and he's just throwing it on his head. Okay, so they're making a statement that they know that this ethnic slur is there. They're trying to make it lighthearted. Or also they're trying to make him look stupid for throwing it on. This is bad. Okay, I don't like this one. Okay, so they are making a comedy, a parody out of the torture thing, but let's not downplay. Saddam Hussein has a tremendous history of torture. Not only him, but also his sons were very famous for doing awful torture. One that always comes to mind is one of Saddam's sons would love to crash weddings, do the most despicable things to people, and the bride, it's awful, okay? It's not funny. Not my favorite scene, okay? I don't really like this. Okay, they have a hostage tape, but then they have a sign language interpreter, and for some reason they make it a woman in niqab, full covering except showing the eyes. And I don't think there's anything like specifically offensive about that. It's just like ridiculous. You know, it's like, oh, what if we put a woman in the niqab doing the sign language thing? It's ridiculous. It's just a silly thing. It's not really offensive. Next scene with the Arabs, and we got the main character fighting someone who's masked with the kufiya. And again, they get this right. This is the Iraqi style kufiya with the tight fishnet pattern, black and white. They did their research and not just putting random kufiyas, qitra shmags on them because they're just like, oh, it's just Arabs, just throw whatever on them. They're getting it accurate for Iraqis. This is rarely done in most other American media. It turns out that whoever this person is extremely good at combat and fighting, which is part of the joke. It turns out to be one of the love interests of this movie, Ramada. And typically I would comment and say, Agal is too far down, they're not wearing the gaffiya, and they didn't stylize the front, which is what most Arabs do, but this person was just fine. It completely makes sense in terms of the story. There's a scene on the water where they're going to get caught by Iraqi guards. And one thing I want to point out to you is they're not doing any orientalist music. They're not doing double harmonic scales, which is always used when portraying Arabs. I don't hear any of that in the music. They are playing some kind of hand drum, but it's not specifically a dumbuk, which is, you know, the Arab drum instrument. That's one thing I want to highlight. They're not going full orientalist with this. And he's got the flag and he's got the thick mustache, which is what Saddam Hussein was famous for. It's hypothesized that he had a mustache like that because Saddam Hussein was referencing one of his heroes, Joseph Stalin. He wanted to kind of look like him, cult of personality, dictator kind of look. Okay, on the right, we have the American guy with the red and white shmagh. And some Iraqis do wear it, but this can be, instead of seeing it as a mistake, it's more like the American doesn't know the correct thing, so he just throws it on. Contextually, it makes sense here. Call it Americanese instead of English. We got this scene here with one of the soldiers eating the worm to prove that he's a real Arab or Iraqi. I actually don't get it. I don't know why he's doing this. If anyone knows what this is supposed to be a reference to, let us know in the comments. Ramada goes into the ladies' bathroom and then he yells, "Look, cross-dressers, kill them all." It's playing into a stereotype. I don't like that one. Then we get this extremely silly scene of Charlie Sheen just unloading with his gun, and it's a reference to Rambo 2 or maybe Rambo 3. It's been a while since I watched them. That's all he's got left, the tiny little bow and the bullets. Every time the guys explode or die, they do funny, silly sounds. Now they're falling in like swimmers. Instead of being a rocket launcher, it's actually launching out a fist and punching them. He's shooting arrows and he can't get them. He keeps missing him, so he has to get the chicken to take him out. He comes to a map where it's almost like a theme park. And we got Terrorist Mountain. We got Pirates of the Persian Gulf. It's a small war after all. The hostage mover, Gaddafi's things, you know, treehouse and stuff. And it's just so silly and stupid. We got this scene with the soldier. And again, he's got the right kufiya on. You know, it's not just random. It's correct. And I always remember this scene from when I was a kid because I remember the Energizer Bunny. And whenever we would take trips to the United States when I was younger, and sometimes we'd be able to watch TV in the hotel rooms at night, I remember the Energizer Bunny commercials. It keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. They're referencing it here. You know, a lot of people are not going to get this reference because it's a 90s movie, but I remember it because of the fluffy bunny. Referencing other movies. It has a body count on the bottom left and it just keeps going up, and they play arcade sounds, and then they're playing music reminiscent of RoboCop theme, and they even reference more kills than RoboCop, more kills than Total Recall. You know, all those movies by Verhoeven, they have a ton of people dying, so it's just playing a little joke on that. Like, look, we got more of a body count than Verhoeven movies. Topper Harley gets into Saddam's palace and he's got his luggage. He's ready to leave and it's silly. He pulls out his gun. Is not out of the holster. Whoa, he tries to judo throw him and he lands on his feet.
You imperious Yankee Doodle dork of a pig.
For you youngins out there, that's a phone and a phone antenna. That's how long the phone antennas used to be to have a wireless phone in the house. And somebody calls the phone while they're fighting.
Oh, hello. Who is it? Who is it?
It's your wife, Hillary Rodham Hussein.
Jesus, Mary, Joseph.
But then Lloyd Bridges' character, who's the president of the U.S., appears.
Thumper and succotash.
Sulfur and succotash. Oh my god, I guess Tarzan turns into lightsabers. Now he's straight into a Star Wars parody. He even has a Darth Vader voice.
The circle is complete.
Okay, this doesn't have anything to do with Arab stuff, but it made me cackle because the two ladies run into an American Gladiator performance stage. That's an old TV show. It was like a reality TV show where they get normal Americans to run through an obstacle course with these really fit people and soldiers, and they have to get through them and fight. And it was so huge in the late 80s and early 90s. I remember watching it on TV in the US and even recording tapes of it. And I loved that stuff. Just fun little trivia of, 90s kid stuff. Back to the fight with Saddam Hussein and the president. Then he's pumping him up, blowing him up so big in a cartoonish way. So he blows a fire extinguisher on him, which freezes him. This is a reference to Terminator 2. He's gonna fall and shatter into a million pieces and then come back with the liquid, but he comes back in a funny way. He came back with his dog. So they have him looking like a dog on his face with the fluffy ears and the weird nose. And it's a little off-putting. It's a little off-putting, but it's silly and goofy. The helicopter's too heavy. They gotta lose weight. And apparently they have a full grand piano in their helicopter. They drop it and it falls onto Saddam Hussein. And then they do what I think is a Wizard of Oz reference. They even got the little bit of music going on and the legs go into the grand piano, but maybe this is a reference to another movie. Maybe I'm misremembering. If you know what this is supposed to be or what this is referencing, let us know in the comments. The two main characters kiss and they go off into the sunset and the movie ends. That was Hard Shots Part 2. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. It was silly. They make fun of every character. They make every character look stupid in some way. They're making fun of themselves. They're making fun of the Americans. They're making fun of the Iraqis. And they make a parody of Saddam Hussein. Okay, so that's the key difference. Everything is slapstick. Everything is goofy. There are some few orientalist things here, but they're far between. Most of it is, let's just make this goofy, and Saddam Hussein, the idea of Saddam Hussein doing all these things that are like Americans, it makes me laugh. Okay, again, there's the bias there that I'm Kuwaiti and hey Saddam, we got to take that into account. But contextualizing the movie, we understand that this is all just goofiness. This is not an anti-Arab message. Okay, it's not a good message. Okay, but it is not being anti-Arab. It's making fun and it's being stupid. So where would I put this on the Habibi Movie Tier List? It is not orientalist. It is not propaganda, but it's not a good message either. I think it clearly deserves to be in C tier. It's just goofy all around. It's funny in a lot of parts. It's silly, but it's not a positive representation. It's smack dab in the middle. It's still got some problems. So I think C is fair. What did you think of this movie? This is just a movie I watched a ton when I was a kid. It's really nostalgic rewatching it. And I even watched it with my wife for the first time and watched the first one and the second one. She was laughing at a bunch of scenes. I was laughing at a bunch of scenes. And it's mostly funny. They're good movies, not the best. They're products of their time. Go ahead and share your thoughts on this movie. Did you watch this when you were a kid? What did you think of it? What do you think of the portrayals? If it's the first time you're seeing it with me, go check it out. Go watch it for yourself. Join in on the comments. I love reading the comments and having a great conversation with everybody. Thanks for having fun with me.